Hello, my name is Lizzie. Each week I've been bringing along a different origami fold, and my intention in doing that is to encourage you to take some time out for yourself to focus on something else completely different and discover how much fun you can have with paper folding. It's a really powerful tool for well-being, something different, and yet we all have this material around us and don't appreciate how much we can do with it. I found it a very powerful technique, so I hope you're going to enjoy this. I've actually had a break for a couple of weeks, so it's important that we all do take breaks in whatever form that we can during this time. So these films are all dedicated to my colleagues who are at UCLH Hospital in London, and it's to encourage staff as well as patients to get creative. But these films are for everyone. We're all in this strange situation where we need more connection and some kindness and to feel close to others. So I hope this is giving you a sort of a nice little time that we could be together and do something nice as I would do normally in person. And if I was covered in PPE, it'd be a little bit hard, I think, to do this. So this is a way I'm keeping up my work, and I hope that you can benefit. So I love doing lots of colourful pieces of origami, but today I'm going to bring along something I think is very special, and it's from an amazing designer origamist called Fumiaki Shingu, and I'll be including a link. He's created a beautiful website, Origami Club, where there's lots of options of things to do, and I have been wanting to bring us some luck at this time. Obviously we can make our own choices to make sure that we do things and be careful as possible, but there is in all cultures this sort of belief and wish for hope as if somehow we can make good things happen, and it's something that I think all helps us feel we send each other good wishes all the time, and their wishes for things to work well. So I thought we could make a 4-leaf clover. It's seen as a symbol of good luck. I've actually been finding lots of 4 and even 5 and even 6-leaf clovers, and I thought it would be nice to fold our own, and this could be a little decoration, something to put up, make a card, and just to provide a really positive focus. So it's going to be actually another piece of modular origami, so these little pieces that plug in together. I'm very grateful to Fumiaki Shingu for sharing his amazing design. I hope you're going to enjoy this. So if you grab yourself a piece of paper, I tend to show with just A4 paper or letter paper, whatever you've got, because I figure that's something that we've all got at home, and I will show you how to make your squares of paper. If you can, maybe even grab some green pencils. If you had green paper, you could also use that as well. So I encourage people to grab something to press on. So I've got my board, and I am now going to direct the camera down. So here goes. So I also recommend people to just take their time, enjoy the process, which is what it's all about, that it takes time and care. So I'm going to grab a piece of paper, and I reckon we could make the four leaves from just a single sheet. So if we fold it in half lengthwise, I don't even use scissors, so we're keeping it as simple as possible. And every week I'm also doing a live fold on Wednesdays at 2 UK time as well. So if you do it nice and accurate, always line things up well. Start well, continues well, start badly, it gets worse. It really does. So it's always worth being very careful, and I think that's part of the joy of origami. If you've done a good strong fold, then you should be able to just rip it in half, like so. There we go. So we're going to make 4 squares. I think we might as well do them all together. So if you take a corner, and if you line it all up, we're going to make our 4 little leaves. So there we go. So we've made that square. Next we have to fold along there in order to chop it off as well. So if I turn it over, bring it back, line it all up. Again, take your time. It's what makes it relaxing. And it's just nice to focus on something. I don't know whether you've ever found any 4-leaf clovers, but this film, I think in this case, is dedicated to my best friend from school. And I remember lying in a park looking at the clovers, and I said, I've never found one. And she said, it's only because you don't think you're going to find one. And she's right. Once you start believing that you can find them, you can start finding them all over the place. I found so many. So that's one. Right, let's do all 4 at the same time. Next one. I've even found at least a 7-leaf clover as well. Is that good luck? I think so. I've actually tended to find them mostly by places like busy roads. I reckon it's the pollution that encourages the mutation. There we go. So hopefully you'll be keeping up, doing your own 4. So I rather enjoy the modular because you repeat something over and over again, and as you do the repetition it gets easier and easier and it becomes quite calming because you know exactly what to do. This is just 4, right, make another square. There we go. Because here soon we'll be sending our children back to school, so students starting back at universities and things, so we all, I think, feel a sense of trepidation and hope, and I think that need for a bit of luck. So I thought this would be a nice one to focus on. That's it, and I'll be showing you live on Wednesday as well. There we go. And again, removing that edge off there. There we go, taking my time, nice and relaxing. And as you're adding those folds, I think releasing a little bit of stress too. Oops, that wasn't a very good tear. So I think it helps if you've got it good and solid on the surface there. There we go. So we've got 4 squares now. Now what we're going to do, if you open one up, we're going to fold it horizontal and vertical. So you may do a smaller one if you want it to look more like an actual clover, or maybe it's nice to do a nice really big one. So it's folded horizontal and then folding it vertical. I'm going to have to do that on all 4 pieces. So I could just show you once and say repeat it, but I'm keen to sort of accompany you in time and for us all to do it together. So again in half, vertical, but that's partly why I'm not showing you any more complex, bigger pieces of origami where you have lots of pieces, because it would take so long. I think but I do recommend it. With time you'll find that your confidence starts to go up and you want to try more things, and there's so many videos I found have helped me anyway to learn. There we go, and another horizontal, vertical, and then I'll show you the next step. So I tend to stack them up as I go along, little production line. That's it. Right, so our next step, opening it up, it doesn't matter which end, is to take the top, doesn't matter which is the top, and fold it into the middle, like so. So it was up here and I just folded it so it lines up like so. So again, we're going to do that for all those pieces of paper. So taking whichever end, bringing it to the middle. That's great. Again, my little stack. And as I said, I think it becomes quite relaxing doing a little batch of things. The biggest modular piece I've done, completely different design to this, it's called the Amazing Bashetta Star, and I did one that was 270 pieces. Took me sort of a week on train journeys and in front of the telly. Very relaxing though. Okay, so our next step, if you turn it over, we're going to take a side and fold it in a straight line like so. So from the top, folding it there. There we go. And again, so that they meet up. There we go, that's what it should look like. And again, we're going to have to do them all. Hope you don't mind, but you'll be doing the same thing if you're doing this as well. So again, turn it to the other side, take the side, and fold it in a straight line. There we go. To the batch. So I've often really enjoyed the sort of patterns that emerge when you have that repetition. Turn it round, and again, you'll find all sorts of beautiful patterns happen. If anything, I often enjoy this process in a way more than the end thing. It is about enjoying the journey it takes you on and what you observe as you go along. There we go. I'm enjoying the pattern there that's emerging. Right, we'll turn it around to the other side. And then again, same thing. They seem to stack up very nicely, actually. That's not what we meant to do. That's just me enjoying it. I tend to be a bit like that. Can you see it? It looks like a little sculpture. Just a nice thing. Anyway, so our next step, it's just a little stack, is to turn to the other side. And you've got a little triangle at the top. We're going to take the top and we're going to fold it down to the bottom. But we're not going to squash the whole of the back. I will show you. It's a little bit like a butterfly actually here. So taking it and we're folding it down. And you may well see a little heart shape has emerged. Can you see? Like so. So I took the very top and I folded it down to that middle point. Like so. And then I'm going to turn to the back. And I'm sort of just holding it in place for now. But what I'm going to do is these top bits, I'm going to sort of shape so that it forms a little triangle there. Do you see? I'm trying to do this in the camera. It's been actually a couple of weeks since I've done this, so I may be a bit rusty. That's it. You may have to be patient with me. So again, I'm sort of putting my finger in there. I suppose that's the way I'm finding it useful. And then trying to keep that all nice and straight. It looks like two little arrows meeting each other maybe. Like so. Except I realise it's not looking that straight there. So I'm going to redo it. It's partly because I've obviously forgotten how to do it into camera. So something like that. That'll be fine. There we go. Right, and we're going to do that for each of them. So again, turn it round where there's that little triangle at the top. We're going to take the top and we're going to fold it down to the bottom. But we're not folding it all. So all we're doing is getting it in place, really. There we go. So I'm just holding it in place like so. Looks like a little heart. That's a good sign. Turn it to the back. And again, I'm trying to just squash. I suppose it's a bit of a squash fold. So I'm finding it quite useful to put my finger in there and push it down and keeping that line nice and straight, which is a little bit harder for me to do here. That's it. And it looks like you're making two little arrows that are pointing at each other. So again, things don't fit, then have a little play around with the paper, get it all working in the right position. And again, squash fold it down. I think that's the right phrase. Again, I'm probably going to have to look at it, I'm afraid, for me to do well. That's it. Like so. There we go. So we've done half of them now. Next one. Again, turn it round. This repetition. So this top we're going to bring down to the middle. And you'll find the good thing with repetition is by the end you sort of know what you're doing. And that's quite relaxing in itself. So again, I'm bringing it to that point. Holding it there. Turning it to the back. And again, I'm going to have to make sure I'm kind of getting rid of any wrinkles there. Getting all a bit more shapely. And what we want to do is get those side bits again squashed down so it looks like these little arrows. Like so. That's it. And the same on the other one. There we go. I wonder whether this is derived from a heart, because obviously you could make it also into little Little 4 hearts that I'm eating. There we go. So it should look like that. And our final one, again turning it round, taking the top and bringing it down to the bottom in the middle. You've got your halfway line there, so it's quite easy to see where the centre is. Again, holding in place, turning it round, getting rid of these kind of wrinkles at the sides, like so. And then again, we're going to squash those down so it looks like a little arrow meeting the other, like so. There we go. I think that will work. Great. There we go. And again, just taking your time. Right, so our next step, it gets easier after this. That was definitely the hardest sort of fold, is to take the corner and fold it there. And what you're doing is you're making it more of a heart, really. Again, folding it there. And then you're folding this again in half. So taking the top and you're bringing it down to that line. So taking it and folding it down. Do you see? So I'm taking this top and I'm folding it down to that line, like so. And then I think we might as well finish this off. Then we will actually be having our little petals. So if you take the sides and you bring it to the middle line, there we go, and we'll be ready to go. Right, the same with this side. Taking the side, and this could almost be a little card now, because if you turn it around, you've got a nice little heart, and probably even stand up. So you could actually just keep it as a little heart card. That's one thing, but that's one of your leaves, and then you'll be able to plug them in. So there we go. We're very close. So again, it should look like this. We're going to make this top more like a heart. So taking a side and folding it. Folding it in. You can see mine's not perfect. Doesn't matter. It'll be fine. There we go. And again, taking the top and folding it to that middle line. So, like so. So we're just softening it, really. Softening that line. There we go. And we can take the sides and fold it to the middle line, like so. There we go. And the other side. It always takes a bit longer, doesn't it, when it's modular? But I thought that Clover would be a very nice thing for us to do for this week, to return for a new season. There we go. Again, the sides. Hopefully this is getting faster for you as well, and easier. You know what you're doing. And again, folding these down. So it's just softening that top. That's great. And then taking the sides and folding them in, like so. There we go. Good, another nice little heart. So taking the sides, folding it in, and then again softening it. So just folding it in half. See, the smaller it is, the more fiddly it is, so it's probably a good idea to start off a big size. There we go. And then bring that into the middle, keeping that lined up. Right. So, our next step is really just to put them together. Now, you can either keep them all flat as they are. What you'll find is one will simply slot into the other. That is it, really. But I found that they maybe might, you could give it a bit more depth. So if you wanted, you can fold them in a bit and then fold these back, and it will give it a bit more of a three-dimensional feel. But actually maybe it's easier just to show you at the moment flat. So what you can do is just simply slot one in. You may find that they may fall apart, so you may want to at the back be taping it or glue. It's up to you, but they should all just slip in one into another. So there's a little slot, and you should be able to simply push that in, and your 4-leaf clover should be emerging. And you might, hey, you can see it really does fall apart. So as I said, I think tape might be a good idea. I've been making mine a little bit more three-dimensional so they stay a little bit better. But it does all work, doesn't it? And then finally slotting that together. Let me see. Feel a bit like, here's one I did earlier. There we go. So the 4 of them together. So another thing you could do is maybe colour them, and I quite like how it's got a little bit of a depth to it. It will sort of stick up. So you might want to colour some of these petals in as well, these leaves. So up to you, but you can give your clover a little bit more colour, and they do have some really nice patterns on them actually. Often a sort of a paler ring in the middle. So I'm just going to do one there, but just to show you. And as I said, you might want to glue all those parts together. On the live showing, I'll show you how to make it a bit more 3D as well, actually, I think. So it possibly stays together a little bit better. But there you go. You've got hopefully your very own 4-leaf clover, and I hope it brings you luck, and good luck at this time. And keep well and keep being responsible and doing the right thing as well, and to wear masks when you need to as well, and to think of others. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Many thanks. Bye bye.